the state government has received a big shot in the arm as the Supreme Court has now set aside the order of the National Green Tribunal, which had allowed the Sterlite plant to reopen. This order means that the copper smelting plant will not reopen anytime soon in Tuticorin. The court has allowed the parent company Vedanta and the state government to approach the High Court. The top court said that the NGT, which passed the order in March last year, did not have the jurisdiction to give any such clearance for reopening of the plant. Meenakshi joining us on the phone line. Meenakshi, you made it very clear to us that the Supreme Court has spelled it out. The NGT is not authorized to give a clearance for reopening, which means now that the Sterlite copper plant will remain shut. Meenakshi?
Right, Afrida, the Sterlite copper plant pretty much will remain closed, and that is why the Tamil Nadu government for now will be breathing a sigh of relief. And this definitely comes as a huge setback for Vedanta, because there is no immediate relief in sight from the top court for them. And on grounds of maintainability, remember the Supreme Court thus far has not ventured into the merits of the case, but on grounds of maintainability alone, the Supreme Court is of the opinion at this juncture that NGT did not have the jurisdiction or the authority to pass orders to pave the way for the opening of the Sterlite unit in Tuticorin. And therefore, on that ground alone, the NGT's order or earlier judgment of December 2018, Afrida, now stands set aside by the top court.
Right. Meenakshi, just to make our viewers understand the issue, the NGT, of course, the National Green Tribunal, to give the clearance, notwithstanding the pollution concerns, isn't there some amount of a confusion about why would the NGT give a clearance and the state government object on grounds of pollution?
Well, Afrida, this is the operative ruling of the top court that we are bringing to our viewers. The Supreme Court will have arrived at a very detailed reasoning as to why the NGT could not have at length perhaps paved the way for the reopening of the Sterlite unit in Tuticorin. That is the objectionable part here, because remember, the merits part still needs to be judicially examined, whether or not there was indeed pollution as a result of the operation of that unit in Tuticorin, which Vedanta claims that it was not. Vedanta also went on to claim before the NGT, and they also argued before the Supreme Court as to how the Vedanta's arguments have not been taken into cognizance by the have not been taken into cognizance by the Tamil Nadu government. And our viewers will recall that the NGT had imposed a financial burden on Vedanta to undertake compulsory corporate social responsibility tasks, and with that particular instruction, the NGT had permitted for Vedanta to reopen its unit. Now, whether or not NGT actually had the authority or the jurisdiction to venture into the merits of the case, to pave the way for the reopening, is the aspect that the Supreme Court has today spoken its mind on, and it feels that the order of the NGT is not maintainable. That is what we are confirming to our viewers at this point in time. The Supreme Court has not ventured into the merits of the case on grounds of maintainability alone. The earlier NGT order of December 2018 today stands set aside by the Supreme Court.
Right. So the NGT might have given its clearance, but that is not enough for the Sterlite copper plant to reopen. The Supreme Court has set aside the NGT order, as Meenakshi is pointing it out. Thanks very much for joining us.